Apparently, I've been sentenced to death for saying that out in space something resembling life on Earth exists. I might point out that life on Earth is life on Earth, and anywhere else a chemical process may resemble life is not life on Earth. It's different. It's very important. So I think we're making a mistake. It's a better interpretation. Especially if you look at the stars in the sky, they're not sort of. The Bible says that that's different. In fact, there are suns like the sun. And where there are suns like the sun, there will be planets like the Earth on. So people are searching for them. People are searching for them in America and other places, and including the British observatories. And, well, what we find is these conditions that are similar, very rarely, but similar places. It's possible that something like what happened here could happen there, when the evolution is fact. And there's the theory, it isn't, it's fact. People who have these extreme views are liable to mentally ill, and if they come to my house, they'll kill me. There's no reason for that. In the house I was trying to develop a cold fusion reactor, mainly because I had enough knowledge to realise it could occur in the way as described. It's not simple. Your coil of wire is any coil of wire has strange circuits inside it which you can't see. If you have a straight coil of wire, then you have a field of light and this circular motion, and inside the coil, if you've got gas like deuterium, or mixture of nitrogen deuterium, or even air, there will be a reaction because the longitudinal field down this way will put a small current called a Townsend discharge, essentially, small current through the gas, and that is sufficient to allow the circular current to induce another circular current in this gas. Therefore, the pellet and the small number of which will move to the centre. It's a central force, so the calculation shows a central force. And I did it experimentally using MIRS coils and a small dangling thing. A little wire. And they are in my webpage. The calculation on Mathcad was deleted by this mentally ill man. I should say his name. He just did it, said, "Oh, it's not Chris." Of course it was me. At the time I had the qualifications and the understanding. Since then I've been poisoned with Andreas, since I've been done from a bright room, the understanding it, so I can't do it again. I request these pictures, which are GIF files, be returned to me so I can put them in the right places in the system, and then look at them and they can see exactly how they verify the central force theory. In fact, well, it's obvious that if a magnetic field is here, a wire is here, the force near the wire is higher, the force further away. So if you have a coil inside like that, the force in the middle is going to be towards the middle. And as the inside bit gets smaller, the force actually gets smaller, but it's going to go to zero. And the force is quite large. It's called the magnetic bursting pressure. And all my relatives in question know about this. They've all done the electrical theory and about transformer bursting pressure. I have seen that route because I did a training course called I should have get very far, but I did. And so saw bursting forces running forces involved, which is why you have the cars end to end rather than one inside the other. I've got an example here because it was destroyed by the fire, but I had one nearly built. But what was missing was the residence car. I want to explain that plenty elsewhere. And this was a conscious decision to move it past to prevent it from going off. So it's got a complicating construction because of the control theories, the control system of both. And I'm hoping to build one. It's going to take a long time because I have a restriction on cash flow, which is imposed by my relatives because they want my money basically, or at least they want it spent on care home. Well, I've got me in the care home, which is quite a nice place. And I'm allowed to have some of it, and they may suddenly say we've got them. But I see, the management here are quite reasonable. So it's time to show the one. All I need is these wires come to an end. I can afford one of these reels. I can afford 1 kilogram reel. Ordered it. I've also ordered a number of things which haven't come yet. And there are definite purposes. They may not look, as the companies may not look like it, but they all fit together. And one of my friends in Utrecht can supply a borosilicate tube, borosilicate glass tube, which I was writing once. This one was eventually. These are certain pay for this small amount of money to produce brake, electronic brake mechanism. It works like a dimmer switch, except that instead of brighting the light, it shorts out the light instead of pulses. And it's not a light at all. Of course, it's power supply. And it is called a shunt regulator. It's actually called that. And all this is known. There's nothing new about it, but it's the way I apply it. So, good side may miss anything. And it took me a long time. It took me about 10 years to work it out. And here it is as well. This is over there. I built it because it's not built for the sale. I can get parts before Christmas, maybe not before Christmas, maybe afterwards, because it's only 12th. And the other thing I like to say is that my wife has been terribly injured by a train accident. Lost one of her legs. Had a bicycle stolen. I'm surprised bicycles are not leg pair of bicycle. It's a special pair of devices which allow her to look quite normal and walk quite normally. She's quite good at walking on her legs. I don't know how she does it. And there's these specially made ones. So they work. Apparently she does demonstrations in one of the pubs where she dances, showing these mechanical limbs. That's her doing me. I'm making money. But seriously, I had a bicycle stuck in, which is not very nice. So close to Christmas. Maybe the person who stole it benefited from it. But, well, she actually wanted an electric bicycle so that she can just, she gets to go to place, she works for charity work. So people to understand. She's in pain the whole time from this worship on her legs. And hopefully the natural process. Some people have the ability to grow new parts, some people don't. She appears to be one of the people who has that ability, and hopefully that leg will slowly grow into a foot and she will have a complete set. I just hope that happens. The only miracle being involved, then the miraculous action is our own body, and it is a miraculous machine. We have models and things called morphogens, which can be shown to participate mathematically in both solving and so on. And down further like that, I can confirm that happened. It didn't get to completion. And as I say, she needs an electric bike. She also needs it stamped with police markings to indicate who it belongs to, and insured, so that if she just gets stolen again, she can recover it. Gunstead, she only has small amount of income. She has no state benefit. She's not English. She has only has something that she gets as a result of her work. And I have limited resources too, because I spend my money on my work, which is reasonable. And I will do something. I'm expecting some money today. It's for clothing. I haven't got any trousers. My clothes are lost in the car, so I have some for a pair of rollies. Somebody's giving me some trousers to wear. And these don't have a sit up the front, which is a problem. I've actually already got some in the shop waiting for me to pay for them. I do have the money for them. Hoping the money will come in this morning. And there may be some left over. I'm tempted to spend it on my machine, but she needs a nice car to get about to, which I should pay. That's the problem. And she can't, I don't think she can get social security, honestly. But she has accommodation. There's no problem with that. Charity she works, so just like that. And she works for charity work. That's the appeal. I don't know how much electric bikes cost, but apparently it's a central part of the wheel is modified to have an electric motor in it somehow. No idea how it works, because there are several gears and things, yes. She'll still need brakes. Okay. She's able to balance and so on. She's a fighter pilot, for this sake. And she can still fly a plane, and still drive a car. But what she wants is an electric bike. She likes cycling. She's an athlete. Sad case. Always has a happy smile on her face. And she's good looking too. I'm not quite on that. But what's good looking to some people is not to others. Beauty lies in the eye of the beholder. But if you were a benefit when she worked for a company association, I'm not sure, where she used American disinfectant methods to clear infection. You'll see they would have benefited. Like most people, we care about each other a little bit. But I don't like being told that can't have this, can't have that, in order that this machine shall not exist, because the Second World War was about it all, was over. And of course, the reason for the war wasn't the machine at all, or the end wasn't the engine at all. Destroying Hitler's source of power was reasonable. But found them in Hungary, still in use. Didn't know that. Well, that's the obviously the death sentence of saying the radians. Well, if there are, they're very far away, very few, they're not coming here. And the other thing I'd like to say, I don't know if it's true or not, because we've been hit by bodies which are a little rock from outer space, People say there's no stones in the sky, so we can't get it's coming in, but we are. There are stones in the sky, and they do eat us and generate the Omicron. And they're causing a dust in the atmosphere, which is cutting down on the red light of the sun, or the blue light of the sun. The blue light, or the red light, and the blue light of the sun. And last night when it started showering, it was very thick. It was misty, and I remember reading the Quran, and the sources from Rambam, it's not very good. First of all there was a mist, and then that became rain, and then it became snow, and it didn't stop. Something like that. I didn't happen at all the whole Quran, and I didn't pretend to know it, but that's worth reading. It's in our language, but can have a proper translation. It's a holy work, but it's true. And the man who wrote it was a genius. The way it's written, the man was a genius. He was a good writer. I think he died eventually with his throat cut. That's sad. But they suspected sorcery. They thought that he'd done something, some magic. It's very cold at the moment. I'm indoors and I'm cold because the heating's off. I'm cold at the bottom because that's how it works. I've got insulation up here, but insulation down there. So in the houses I'm buying, not that good insulators, but they're waterproof. I think that the idea is that they keep out most of it. It says they're thin. I'm surprised they're so well, but they need to be not necessarily, but not quite so thick. Legs are important for a useless to eat. So high comfort, long clothes on. Anyway, I had a serious infection recently, which caused all sorts of problems, and that may be the cause of my heart attack rather than anything else. And that's nothing to do with any human agency at all. It's just a bacteria. The Muslims have this knowledge of how people survived in these times. If you look at the Roman remains, there is evidence that this happened. Because the snow melted away and parts took away their woodwork, there's no sign of anything happened. It was written on bits of wood. Well, I don't know whether there's anything been found that survived. There's the English Quran. It's a similar story like this. There was a son, they lost his power, and the plants did not grow, it did not get warm. So they got 30 feet of snow and people died, large numbers. And that could happen again. That's not a message, but these qualities which have been hitting us for some time, but it's all wonderful with stars, bright light, bang, and you hear the smell of what's it not called, it's iron, burning iron. Every time you get that smell, and of course it may be because of a stroke, we still get it, and not bad. And this smell indicates sinusitis. Sinusitis in iron is right. You get big ones, the dust in the atmosphere, which is, I suppose, iron oxide and very fine. And it's cleared at low levels, it's cleared by the rain, but higher up it stays up. And according to the scientists' report I read, some scientists' report some time ago, a year ago, or 2 years ago, these impacts have raised so much dust in the atmosphere. This is a nuclear winter over the last thousands of years. And my contribution was originally before all this happened, it's going to be this transfuser. Now, I don't know what happened to it, but the one I built was very quickly built and was very wobbly and nicely made, and hopefully they made it work. And I've got the circuits set up with him. And that could be a solution because it will be able to warm and heat the earth and to provide light to keep the fields going. Well, that's the important thing, to feed people. At the moment we have warfare because First thing people use useless power for is tanks, isn't it? Another thing that people do, they can have field drops to build. I think in Roman times in this part of the country, in this part of the world, they use cloches, which are glass, and then cloches, which are able to accumulate the heat of real planets, and people did survive. And they say they must have said they ate each other, or maybe they did. They ate their children, certainly. It's dreadful, isn't it? And I think Mohammed said, called it terrible times. Terrible times. Woman eats her own babies, for there is no food. That's how terrible it was. And it goes on. I can't remember the rest of it. It must have done it by heart. And it's so what they do. Mosques, I've only been to a mosque once to see the scenery, see what's up there. Interesting. As I say, it's ancient knowledge, ancient language, ancient history. Wasn't that long ago? The person who predicted this Simone at Rocks in space was not known to me, but she worked at the radar tracking station, Deep Space Radar, with the Jamstad prediction. Now, I don't know whether they got the date wrong or the time wrong, but it's there. Lumps of rock hitting us, and it's been going for some time. I don't know. Maybe this fog will turn to sunshine. We would be happy if we had sunshine the other day. And I don't know what it's going to be today. Hopefully, you do it over in the morning, it's red light. That means the blue light is being absorbed by particles, and red light is going through. So, blue light is being stopped. Now, photosynthesis has got red light and blue light. Maybe bright enough for us to see by, but not bright enough for farmers. So we must artificially supplement daylight, else we will warm it up a bit. And people will die. I was yesterday. Fortunately, a shopkeeper gave me shelter. We had the funding to support that. And they have it all prepared, the Muslims have it all prepared. Hopefully they will feed people who are not Muslims and not know about it. And hopefully they'll put up their swords and not do any more executions. It's very nice. Sad world. They're people like us, and like us, they care about other people quite instinctively, but we have to, in order to save others, you have to save yourself first. And I'm going to see if I can meet up with my wife today. And she wants to invite, well, it's not much for some people, and if I had access to my money, it would be easier for them. Well, but it's been stopped, my access has been stopped. As a punishment for saying the Iranians, apparently, and possibly for other grounds as well, I don't know. Possibly sums up charges. Oh, well, easy enough to do that. Find a murder and pin it on somebody who didn't do it. Me. Or didn't do it, and or somebody or something like that. Usually people who did do it know who they are, and they're usually the principal accusers. They only pass it on somebody else. Well, that's nice.